Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Offer valid on standard browsers, U.S. only.
When I heard about Date My Age, I thought, really? But there I was in my empty, quiet house, my laptop on the kitchen counter, and I typed in my name. Looking for a man between the ages of 40 to 60? Sure, why not?
Date My Age is different. With verified profiles, you can feel safe and secure to explore meaningful connections with interesting and mature singles.
Date My Age made it really easy. I could join and view online profiles for free. All of a sudden, my empty house wasn't so quiet anymore. I got so much attention, it just made me feel seen and alive. Date My Age helped me start a totally new chapter in my life.
Find a friend, a lover, a partner at Date My Age. Get 60% off when you join at datemyage.com today. That's datemyage.com to connect with thousands of singles worldwide. datemyage.com.
You're listening to the Best Morning Routine Ever podcast, the show that proves no one stumbles upon success ever. With your host, Lunide. Every Mondays and Thursdays, we deliver cold hard evidence behind the power of a robust morning routine. Get ready to be transformed by the renewal of your mind.
Hi, Molly. Can you hear me?
I can. How's it going?
I'm blessed. How you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, I'm so excited we're finally doing this. Hooray.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for taking the time.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I actually, I was just re-listening to your Boost Your Morning Routine Scribd audiobook during my run this afternoon or this morning, I guess. So it was good. It's weird though, because it's narrated by someone else. So now in my head, I have that voice as your voice, and it's going to take me to rearrange that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I actually submitted a piece for Scrib, and it's on there on morning routines and habits.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. So so I work with Scrib to basically talk to some of you coaches about the pieces you've done to kind of provide a way to bring people to the platform, because they can read these articles and then hopefully they go click through to actually read the book. Yeah. So it's sort of like the little mini version of the what you get out of the book, and a little bit more about all the different coaches. So I say it's like therapy for me, because I get to talk to all the different coaches and experts and get so much good info. So how did you end up in the morning and habit space anyway? What got you into it? Because I know you also do a podcast too, right?
Yeah. So I do have the podcast that is called Best Morning Routine Ever. But I got started because I was tired and exhausted with my 9 to 5, and I was in a rat race. And I was like, man, I just am lethargic. I don't feel happy. I don't feel right. So where do I begin? What can I do that's free that can actually change my outlook and just change my energy level? Mm-hmm. And I started looking into Tony Robbins and Oprah Winfrey, and I was reading Think and Grow Rich at the time. And the lessons that I heard from there was all right, I don't have capital. I can't start a business just yet, but let me just start with the small things. And Oprah Winfrey and Tony Robbins, they swore by a morning routine, having these rituals in place to kind of set you up for the day. And I was like, I clearly don't have one, so let's start there.
Okay, well, the obvious question now is, what did you start with morning routine wise, and what does your morning routine look like now?
Yeah, very good question, because I didn't have a morning routine. I was experiencing all this downfall in terms of not being happy at my job, not being happy in life altogether. And I was resorting to drinking to kind of numb the unfulfillment, as I call it. But when I started doing the morning routine, things started changing. I didn't have a plan, but it started becoming clearer what to do. The pieces started falling into place for me because of the morning routine. And it was just that aha moment was like, for me, I got to do more of this. I got to find out what other successful people, what their morning routines are like so that I can actually capitalize and show people. It doesn't have to be the same. It doesn't have to be 2 hours. It could be 10 minutes. It could be 5 minutes, as long as you have something in place to create that habit. So the mind get triggered. So what I started with then was actually working out in the morning. Just as you say, you were running this morning. That to me gives me energy throughout the day. And that was, if you recall, that was one of our biggest problems, was like, I'm tired by noon, I'm lethargic. And it wasn't just physical fatigue, but mentally too. I was just drained mentally. So I started incorporating a brisk walk in the morning. So I had to be at work at, I think it was 8 o'clock. So I would get up at 5:30, 6 o'clock to just get a 10-minute walk. And then that became, let me jog it. And then it became a mile run. So I had to get the run in the morning. That was the beginning. And then from there, I added meditation.
Okay. Nice. So are you still doing the jog and the meditate, or have you shifted it? Okay.
Yeah, it's still the same. So work it's just a matter of like when it gets done for me. So we just had our first child. We have a 12-week-old child in the home. And so the habits gets changed and moved around.
Congratulations. Oh my gosh.
things get moved around because of it. But I am still working out in the morning because, again, the energy throughout the day. Reading also in the morning for 10, 15 minutes. If on a good day, I can go half hour, perfect. Audiobook. I know Scrib does audiobooks. It's a lot easier to multitask, to implement those habits. If you can be working out and listening to an audiobook instead of just music, that way you're stimulating the mind as well. So I do an audiobook in the morning. It could be me feeding the baby. I just have one AirPod on. She don't need to know. I'm looking deep in her eyes, feeding her while I'm stimulating the mind, actually getting some knowledge that can help me in my business or personal growth. So the morning routine went from like just like that one item to like, I have a whole app called Hit Savers where I do several of these items in the morning, and reading is one of them. Working out is a non-negotiable. Everything else can fall by the wayside here and there, but working out is non-negotiable. So is that 10-minute meditation, which I've incorporated now. But now I don't run, but I am doing Bikram yoga. Yeah, I'm doing Bikram yoga. And so I do work out in the morning at 7:30.
Nice.
To get it going.
Oof. I find the Bikram yoga is always a little brutal though, because then you're like soaked with sweat and it's like a whole situation to get from that.
It's a 2-hour event. I mean, that's if you go to a 90-minute class, is a 3-hour event.
Yeah,
I know. I totally agree.
Oh my God. I remember the first time I went to a Bikram yoga class, no one warned me how hot it was. So I didn't bring a towel. And I remember like my mat was just like trying to fold it up so I didn't just like pour sweat all over the floor when I was leaving.
Oh man, fair warning. Bad. You are going to, it's so good for your skin. It's good for everything. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I love the idea of morning as far as like habit formation goes, like, because I mean, your book on Scrib was very much on like habit formation, but with this like morning kind of idea. And I wanted to I was hoping you kind of speak on like why the morning is actually sort of like the best time to do our like habit forming kind of stuff. Cause I think it is the easiest to like get into the habit of habit formation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So 2 things. One is decision fatigue. So Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, they wear the same color every day because they don't want to have waste their brain power in making that decision. So our willpower is the strongest in the morning. We wake up with so much of it. That's why we can stay away from that cookie, from that sugary meal, but it won't be the same story come 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. when we're fatigued mentally and physically from a long day of making decisions left and right. So the morning, it's imperative because you're prime. Like you just waking up from like your subconscious is kind of working for you, and you already you're also very suggestible, which means you have to be careful what you let in, because you're gonna take that with you throughout the day. So that's it. It's willpower is not at your will. It's not at your beck and call. It's really the strongest during the morning times, and so you should capitalize on that. Mm-hmm. Do whatever you need to do. If it's meditating, you'll absorb more of it. You'll take in more. It will kind of stay with you longer for the rest of the day. So that's one of it. And the other piece of it is, if you get up and you have this rush energy in the morning, you carry that throughout the day, sets the tone for the rest of the day. But also, if you don't do something for yourself, the day runs away with you. You don't have time to make it up. Like, this is me saying, okay, I have a child now. I can be like, if I'll just midday meditate. Midday, I'm going to go for that run. Yeah, right. It won't happen.
No, exactly. Love it. There's the idea of like the environmental cues. And I know like going to the gym is sort of a big one, you mentioned it, but I also like the idea of thinking about like setting it up like from your bed, basically, like kind of starting at that point. Like I know for me, my biggest thing I'm like trying to work on right now is not having my phone within arm's reach, because I am an email scroller. I tell myself, I'm like, I'm nervous and I just want to make sure like none of my accounts got hacked overnight or anything.
It's an addiction, just like social media. If you like, I know one of my pastors was saying they're fasting, because we did a 21-day fast this month, and pastor said he was fasting social media, but he was scrolling on emails more. It's an addiction, because that's what happened with habits. You can't just drop in habit and expect your life to proceed, okay, as normal. You have to replace it. A habit needs to be replaced, because they're in place for a reason. Scrolling social media, it serves your purpose, right? It fills a void. If it's boredom, well, now that you're no longer doing it, guess what that pastor is doing? Scrolling emails, which could be more productive for him. However, the act of scrolling through something still is happening. So that's how powerful habits are, and you have to be very mindful when you're ready to break them or even drop them. So try to avoid phones first thing in the morning is a hard one, but it's totally worth it. I pick up my phone to do affirmations, to meditate with, to do my audiobook, but I'm not scrolling emails or social media. So it's good to avoid it, but you can do productive things. It can help you, because that's what the phones are designed to do, is to help you.
Yeah. And I do think there are apps out there, now that I'm thinking about it, or even ways on the iPhone that you can set like limits on when you can access the app. So I could set it. So the only thing I could do is like my Duolingo, like language stuff that I'm pretending is my main reason for keeping it next to me on the nightstand.
Yeah. So that habit formation piece is just like breaking it is going to be you have to be mindful of how you break it. You don't break it. You just simply replace the habit, because again, they're formed to solve problems for us. And once we identify what that problem is, because habits are protecting us, right? So once we find out what that is, then we can know how to navigate and how to effectively replace it or put something else in lieu of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The most unconscious morning habit is hitting the snooze button. How do we stop hitting the snooze button? I'm like, I'm asking a friend.
Not me. How do you stop hitting the snooze button? Oh my goodness. First and foremost, don't have it so alarming. Okay. One of my good friends, her alarm was literally a fire hydrant noise. Like, I was like, I spent the night with her. I was like, what in the world is that?
Jumped up, like running out of the house.
I thought there was a fire. So first and foremost, like, you got to understand your subconscious mind is at ease and super calm when you wake up. That's why we meditate, to kind of stay in that space a little longer. Anything alarming is just going to trigger anxiety. Okay, so it doesn't work in your benefit to have it so disturbing. Either do a song or wake up to some affirmations. I actually created an affirmation piece where that it turns on. It says, how would you like to start your day? It kind of talks to me. That's my alarm. And it starts with affirmations like, I am powerful. I am unstoppable. And you kind of wake up to that versus something that you want to whack
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a bad habit. Again, you're not trying to break it. You still got to get up. And another way to stop hitting the snooze button, Molly, believe it or not, and that takes longer, is to actually find a purpose. You'll find out your purpose will wake you up. I don't use an alarm anymore, and so therefore it's a lot easier to wake up when you have something to look forward to. When you're at that place of pure joy, like you are with your work, right? You like it's therapy. You get to talk to these amazing coaches and amazing people, and then you get to work for such a great company as Scrib, a thriving, innovative company like that. Passion wakes you up naturally. That's the second way. The third way is to actually make sure you have adequate sleep the night before, because
Love that.
people say the morning routine starts the night before, and that is true. And I've spoken to thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs, right? Entrepreneurs and millionaires, and they say it starts the night before. So whatever your night routine is, really consider it so that it can actually help you motivate and encourage your morning routine, because you got to get adequate sleep. And there is a notion that between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., your melatonin levels rises. And what that means is that's when you get your most regenerative, restful sleep. So you might try to capitalize that, try to go to sleep a little bit earlier if you can. Because if you stay up past those hours, then your body thinks, okay, wait up, we need to be up. So a second wave of energy kicks in, and it doesn't matter. You could sleep for the next 12 hours. It will not be restful. Just think about the days when we go out drinking, college days, we go out drinking and we stay up till 2, 3 in the morning. How do we wake up the next day?
Yeah. No, we've missed the window.
To sleep. Yeah.
Yep. Right. Just funny. One thing I actually wanted to ask you about is the weekends and stuff like that, because I think it's very easy to have or to develop a morning routine Monday to Friday when you have like the 9 to 5, but like, it's definitely harder to keep it when it's a weekend and you can sleep in and, there's all these different things that are coming at you. So what are your thoughts on like maintaining the routine heading into the weekend?
It's out of your control. As much as you would like to think that, okay, it's the weekend, I'm going to sleep in, you're programmed. Your body's programmed. You're mentally programmed. So you're going to find yourself waking up at the same time. You're going to find yourself wanting to do those same habits to set you up for the day. It's no longer in your control. And that's the beautiful thing about habits. Yeah. You set them and then they make you. So
yeah, like it takes some getting used to, but
it takes a while to get to that phase, and I completely agree with you. And so one mindset shift you can have is have grace towards yourself and say, you know what? Let the weekend be something to look forward to. So you bust your behind Monday through Friday to actually implement it and get up and do it. And then have grace and say, you know what, and you sleep in on the weekends, or you skip some stuff. Like I work out Monday through Friday. I may get a walk in on the weekends with my husband and our baby. And if I don't, it's no guilt. It's nothing, because I know come Monday, I'm hitting that gym at 7:30 in the morning. And so that mentality of having grace, but also rewarding yourself. One big thing about habits is celebrating the small wins. Congratulating yourself for doing it. And so the weekend could be a restful time, but also celebratory. You did it this week. Great work. You did 3 times of whatever that habit is this week, and I'm proud of you. Here's your treat. It's almost like a cheat day for athletes. You know how trainers have cheat days? Like that.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, in any athletic like training schedule, you'd always have an off day during the week.
Recovery.
So it makes perfect sense that you would have that like built into your morning thing. So I think I like that. I think it's almost like having almost like a secondary like weekend morning routine. So you're not necessarily stepping away from like all of it, right? Like you're still doing the meditation. You're still like, drinking the green juice or whatever the heck on the list. We're just maybe like tailoring it a little more to the weekend. Like maybe we don't even set the alarm, but we still do the things. So it's like, it doesn't have to
be, I like that.
It doesn't have to be an all or nothing, I guess.
Yeah. There's room. There's wiggle room. Give yourself wiggle room, because if you're so rigid, then you will not pliable, right? You'll break.
Yeah. That's when you're mad and you give it all, the whole thing is gone. So you've talked to so many different people about this. Are there any like really great morning routines or like really wild ones that you've heard in doing your podcast? Or even just like common ones, I guess. But I'm also very curious if there's like really weird ones that stand out.
Yeah, some of the common ones are really the successful people work out. They run. They're runners.
Yeah.
Successful people are runners. They read. So meditate and reading. Those are the common ones that come up. The bizarre ones, I wouldn't say bizarre because it changes for everyone, honestly, which is beautiful. The beautiful thing about it. I just had an interview with an entrepreneur, and she says, it changes when she had kids.
Right.
She was on the more rigid, strict morning routine up at 4 a.m. Now she's up, it's 7 a.m. But what happens is her 6 and 7-year-old comes into bed and snuggle with her for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You're still getting the serotonin. You're still getting those good vibes. Kind of set your day on right.
Yep.
That happens. I don't. That was hers. I had a couple that came on, and the one bizarre was they actually had sex in the morning to get the day going. That was part of their morning routine. I was like,
All right. Good for them.
and their whole thing was a body empowerment and the need to connect and then stay connected and how to connect with others and what that does to you mentally and how it centers you for the day. So that was their thing, and they looked like a very happy married couple.
Good for them. Like, where do they find the time and the energy?
Right?
I'm so curious. Have you noticed like trends come and go with morning routines? Because I feel like, celery juice was super trendy like in 2021, say. And now it feels like everyone's kind of over that. But, some of them stick around. Like meditation will always be one of like the top one. Reading will always be good. Workout. But it does feel like sometimes there are like the more trendy ones that like come and go. So I feel like you would get a lot of that on your podcast as people are like in and out of it.
The people that comes in, they're consistent. The only thing that changes is the different seasons of their life. Changes the order, the rotation of their routine. But that goes to show you if you stay consistent, like I said earlier, it's really out of your control. You really it can't be a fad.
Yeah,
it becomes such a lifestyle for you that you don't actually drop it. You may change things around. You may change the time that you do things, but I haven't seen like a fad because the people, what you focus on with the morning routine, it's almost like I love saying, the whole model is get up, dress up, and show up. You're really dressing up your mental, your psyche. It's not, you think a morning routine is makeup, hair, taking a shower, grooming. But this morning routine, the routine aspect of it is more mental stimulation. It's more physical fitness. It's more feeding your mind, stimulating the mind so that you're better for, your team, your family, and the people you work with. So I haven't seen any fads. I just seen that it changes depending on the season of their lives. And same with you, me.
Yeah, no, I like the idea of changing it. I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. Like, when do you know you need to change your routine? Like, is it like, okay, this hasn't worked for, 10 days. I've been struggling to get this done. I should probably look at what I'm doing and like redo. I mean, have it obviously like bringing a tiny person into the world is like a pretty obvious, we're going to have to change some things. But even like a job position or something could totally shift things for you, right?
That's a good question. Yeah. So the way the shift takes place is depending on what's going on in life. Like you may spend more time in meditation than you would otherwise, or you just need to let out some energy. You run longer. You do 3 miles instead of the 1 mile. So that's the kind of shift that I've seen happen where the time and the energy kind of move around in the different bowls, I guess you can say, right? So you spend longer time. I used to meditate when I first started out. I had a lot of stuff to get rid of up here. I used to meditate for like 30 minutes, and that was like a guided meditation, listening to something on YouTube to kind of Joe DeGins, I forgot his last name.
Oh, yeah.
The neuroscientist, he does a lot of the meditation and they're like an hour long sometimes. I would sit there and do that for an hour. I had a lot to work through. I had a lot of I needed to really quiet myself down. I'm coming from a place of anxiety, stress, overwhelming, and I needed to tone it down. Now I can do 10 minutes of meditation. It can be unguided, just me following my breath in and out. I got better at it, right? I've improved upon it. So now I get the same result from an hour to 10 minutes because I've been doing this for the last 7 years, right? So you see the difference.
Yeah. And I mean, you wouldn't I guess some people still do an hour a day, but most of us are not going to continue to do an hour of meditation a day every day for 7 years. That's a lot of hours.
Right. Yeah. And then it goes down to what your needs are. And depending on what's going on in your life, I had a lot of stuff to work through. Now they're less. Now I'm more easygoing. It's easy. It's flowing. So your body will tell you, your surrounding, your situation will tell you, and you'll know when you need to increase or where you need to decrease time or increase time.
Yeah. And I mean, it might be you go back to the hour a day, if you're going through a really stressful phase. For sure.
It could be temporary. It could just be today. I need more today than I do tomorrow. Right. That varies.
Exactly. Yeah. I love it. And okay, actually, for people who work from home, and I'm going to include myself in here, that don't necessarily have to have the specific get dressed, do the makeup, do everything, go commute and all that. Any tips for getting into the workday, getting that started? Because I admit, a very pajama centric person because I work from home. So,
okay. So you're talking about how do you show up when you are showing up to just your computer?
Yes, when it's literally my bed's here, here. How do I make that transition from my nice Zen morning routine to okay, time to work? Yeah.
So it's a mental thing, right? It really is just a shift, a turning. And that's why we need the morning routine to trigger that transition. Okay, now we're up to, and it could be listening to the same thing or knowing that you got to read a Bible verse right now. And once you read that Bible verse, the brain is okay, we're up. Yeah, we're ready. Or saying that one affirmation, I'm resilient, I am strong. The brain knows, okay, it's time to get going. And that's the show up piece of it. That's the show up, because you can show up and not be present. You can show up and not be fully there.
Yeah. It seems like so much of the morning routine and all of those habits are kind of just towards this showing up. It doesn't matter how long you're running for, how long you're meditating for, how long any of this is doing, as long as it's putting you into that present, okay, I'm aware, I'm here. This is what's happening now. That's
your full being. You're giving of all of yourself. You're present. You're enjoying this conversation. You're not elsewhere. You're not thinking about an email. You're not thinking about what's cooking on the stove or my baby's crying. You are here in the present moment because you've taken the time to be present, to be here now, as I like to say. That's the whole notion. That's what get up, dress up, and show up. That's the show up piece of it. And everything else, it's aesthetics, honestly, Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. Was there anything else morning wise that you wanted to kind of put out there that we didn't cover? That was exactly what I wanted to kind of bring this article to life here. But any other?
I love this stuff.
I could talk about this stuff all day. Oh my gosh.
I love this stuff only because it's changed my life, and I've seen it change so many people's lives, and I've heard that, and that's why I started the podcast, was to do research. Let's see if this really does work, and it's 100% work. And what's beautiful about it is when your brain kicks in and you're no longer in control, because you're not in control now, right? If you think you don't have habits, you don't have a morning routine, think again, because there are things that you do get up.
I loved that at the beginning of the book when you talked about writing down what your current habits are. Oh, that's so good, because so many people don't realize that they actually do have a very extreme morning routine.
Yeah,
they're just going through the motions of it and don't realize it.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, so good. All right. Well, I will let you get back to your adorable little baby and the rest of your day. But thank you so much for taking the time. I'll keep you posted on when this article goes live on their blog and everything like that. Yeah. Thank you.
Molly, it's been awesome. Thank you for this. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And again, congratulations on the new addition to the family. That's so exciting.
Oh, it's so much joy. We're so happy. We're elated. Her name is Peace. Her name is Peace. And so be reminded, right? I can't wait for her to introduce herself and be like, I am Peace.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Oh, amazing. Well, it was so great meeting you. And yeah, we'll talk soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk later.
All right, morning enthusiasts, that's it for today's show. Thank you for tuning in. If you love the Best Morning Routine Ever podcast, we'd love to hear from you. So go ahead and subscribe, rate, and give a review on iTunes or Google Play. While you're at it, tell a friend about the show. Be sure to visit bestmorningroutineever.com and our Facebook group to join the conversation, access the show notes, and discover our fantastic free bonus content. Until next time,